Let's be honest. Most projects don't fail because of a fancy schedule. They fail because somebody said one thing in a meeting and somebody else heard another thing. Hey, you know how that goes. Nobody even took the time to write anything down. Does that sound familiar? I had just been told that my project priorities were shifting. Translation, drop everything. That's how now all hands on deck, meaning that the timeline was aggressive. Why? Because new resources were about to come on board and the current team couldn't sit idle. If this project slipped, it wasn't just embarrassing, it was going to cost the company money and contracts and leave people collecting dust where there's nowhere to go. On paper, the construction side of the project had a project manager, but there was one problem. No one really had engaged the business side in time. And to make matters worse, the project manager who should have been leading this initiative was still too deep in another project that was just as critical. So picture this, family. I step into the middle of a project, no documentation, no context, no roadmap. I feel like being dropped into a movie halfway through and somebody tapping me and saying, hey, what's the plot of this movie? And let's be real. What do most project managers do when that moment hits? They get frustrated. They mutter, why me? Maybe even considering a career switch and something less stressful, or maybe something like bird watching. Okay, confession time. I did all of that. But here's the turning point. None of that was going to get the project delivered. Complaining doesn't move deadlines. So I went to work. I started interviewing everyone involved. What were their expectations? What had they learned about the vendor so far? Where were the gaps? And to structure it, I used a simple framework: start, stop, continue. What do we need to start doing right away? And what do we need to stop doing before it sinks us? And what should we continue doing because it actually works? See, that little framework didn't just get me up to speed. It gave me the right questions to ask and the confidence to turn a scattered conversation into a clear, formalized plan. And the resolution, those conversations became the turning point. The business side of the project, which was struggling to gain traction, finally had clarity, finally had alignment. The schedule was still important, but it wasn't what saved us. The conversations did. Projects don't fail in schedules, they fail in conversations. Again, principle number one, projects fail in conversations, not in schedule. See, most projects don't collapse because of a missed milestone on a Gantt chart or a project within your project schedule. They fail because conversations weren't clear. We weren't even able to capture anything. Misunderstood expectation, undocumented agreements sink more work than late tasks ever will. Why is this important, family? See, new PMs often obsess over tools, templates, and timelines, but none of those things will save you if the communication is broken. If you don't master conversations, you will always feel blindsided. Experiment with these actual tips. Always document agreements. If it is not written down, it doesn't exist. And you know the motto here: documentation always beats conversation. Again, documentation beats what? Documentation always beats conversation. Next one, ask clarifying questions. Don't move on until everyone agrees and speaking the same language. And the last and final one, create a decision log. Track who said what, when. It saves you conflicts much later on. Here's my professional insight. Schedules make you look organized, but conversations make you look effective. Matter of fact, you feel effective. You learn to hear what is said and not what is not said. And one of the conversations new PMs fail at the most is learning how to say those two letters, N-O. Principle number two, the hardest skill is saying no without burning bridges. Projects die under the weight of every yes. If you can't decline requests, you'll drown in scope creep and unrealistic expectation. Why is this important? New PMs want to please everyone, but saying yes to everything guarantees disappointment later. Saying no professionally, effectively protects the project as well as your resources. Experiment with these actionable tips. Replace no with alternatives. Instead of saying no, try this. We can do that, but it's going to impact this. You always want to give a clear roadmap and a clear path. Next one, anchor to project goals. Say, this is not in the scope, and here is why. The last and final one, offer a trade-off. Show stakeholders what drops if their requests get added. Here's my professional insight, family. A no with reasoning builds respect. A yes without thinking, I guarantee you, destroys trust later. And I know what you're thinking. When the pressure builds from those competing requests, remember, leaders, effective leaders absorb chaos. Principle number 3, leaders absorb chaos, don't create it. Again, leaders absorb chaos, they don't create it. See, anyone can pass stress down to the team. A real project manager filters out the noise, calms the storm, and creates a space for the team to work. Why is this important? If you panic, the team panics. If you study the room, they perform. Your behavior sets the actual tone. Experiment with these actual tips. Keep your voice calm in tense meetings. Tone carries more weight than words. Next one, don't dump executive noise onto the team. Translate it into clear, actionable steps. And the last and final one, privately venting publicly stabilizes. Don't make your stress their stress. Here's my professional insight. Mediocre PM spread chaos. Exceptional, effective, great, absorb it and redirect it into clarity. One of the quickest ways chaos creeps in is treating deadlines like suggestions. Principle number 4, deadlines are promises, not suggestions. See, a deadline isn't a placeholder. It's a commitment. It's not something you're interested in. You can treat it loosely, so all of a sudden everyone else will treat it loose. Why is this important? New PMs often underestimate how quickly credibility erodes when dates slip. Deadlines protect trust with stakeholder. Experiment with these actual tips. Confirm dates with all stakeholders. Don't assume. We need to lock a commitment in. And next one, break big deadlines into milestones. Smaller wins prevent slippage. And the last and final one, flag risk to deadlines early. Never surprise stakeholders at the finish line. Here's my professional insight, Philly. People respect when you defend deadlines. If you're casual with dates, you too will be treated casual as well. And dates don't really mean much without my favorite thing, accountability. Principle number 5, visibility without accountability is theater. See, dashboards, reports, status slides are worthless if nobody owns the red items. You know the red items. See, pretty charts don't deliver projects. People do. Why is this important? New PMs often think visibility equals progress, but unless you tie the names to the task, it's just like you almost at a performance art class. Experiment with these actionable tips. Assign owners in reports. Never leave a red item without a name. Next one. Follow-up one-on-ones. Publicly updates don't replace accountability. And the last and final one, which is my favorite again, track commitments over time. Who delivers? Who misses? And adjust, pivot accordingly. Here's my professional insight. Visibility shows the problem. Accountability solves it. Don't make the mistake one for the other. And while you're holding people accountable, you also need to protect them from the noise that kills focus. Principle number 6, be a protector for the team from useless noise. Again, be a protector for the team from useless noise. See, teams fail when they spend more time reacting to chatter than doing actual work. You know how that is. Not every stakeholder, email, opinion, or demand should even be reaching the team. You should be a filter for your team. Why is this important? New PMs forward everything because they fear missing something, but that overload will definitely burn out your team. Experiment with these actual tips. Filter information. Pass along only what impacts the deliverables. Next one, shield your team from politics. Again, shield your team from politics. Handle stakeholder drama yourself. And the last and final one, set communication rules. Define how, when the team should be contacted. Here's my professional insight. Your team does not need to know everything. They do, though, need to know the right thing at the right time. See, ignoring the wrong things, especially risk, you are definitely looking at a recipe for disaster. Principle number 7, risk ignored becomes disaster design. See, risks don't just disappear just because you don't log them. They quietly, creepily explode. Why is this important? See, new PMs feel fear talking about risk because they don't want to sound negative, but silence builds failure. See, I've seen over in my career, family, that when you have a status report and your risk probably has a potential of being flipped to an issue, people get nervous. Or if you have a risk, you have a lot of different risk on there, people get nervous. And it's like, well, we need to have a risk response to if this risk happens. All right, I'll digress. Experiment with these actual tips. Log every risk, even the ones that feel small. Next one, review risk weekly. Keep them alive, not forgotten. And the last and final one, plan mitigations early. Waiting until impact hits it too late. Here's my professional insight. Ignoring risk, it's an optimism. It's negligence. And nothing kills risk faster than challenging assumption, especially the way it's always been done. Oh my goodness. If you want to say something to me, you could just leave a comment or DM me and say, oh, this is how we've always done it. Oh, I would lose it. Principle number 8, challenge the way it's always been done, family. I sometimes get people frustrated because I ask them, are we doing that way? And then when they tell me, well, we've always done that way, I say, uh-oh, now you done set yourself up I'm really about to attack it now. And it's not being negligent or dismissive of the individual or the team. It's just that if we don't know why we're doing something, that's not good, because it may either be a better way or the way that we're doing it is really effective, but we need to be able to articulate that on a bigger scale. All right, I digress. I'm sorry. So when someone says that, I look at it as like an anthem for mediocrity. Again, an anthem for mediocrity. See, progress requires challenging stale practices. Why is this important? New PMs often defer to tradition, but organizations need a PM to question, not just follow. Experiment with these actionable tips. Ask why relentlessly. If the answer is because, push harder, but be professional in pushing. Next one, pilot new approaches. Test small, improve value, and then scale. And the last and final one, show impact. Data, facts beats tradition every single time. Here's my professional insight. Mediocre PMs conform. Effective, exceptional PMs challenge and change. And that's why we have to understand memorizing a book doesn't give you the value you need to be able to learn to lead. Here's the truth, family. When I think back on the project where I walked into with no documentation, no context, clock was ticking. It wasn't the schedule that saved us. It was the conversation, the honest ones, the tough ones, the kind where people finally say what they really mean and put it on record so no one forgets. That's the real difference. See, mediocrity hides and silences excuses, business as usual. Effectiveness shows up in clarity, courage, and accountability. Here's the truth. Your legacy as a project manager won't be perfect or a clean dashboard. It will be a conversation you lead, the people you protect, and the impact you created. The difference between staying mediocre and being effective is action. Listen, people have been saying and asking me, I'm serious about leading projects. Well, if you are, click the link in the episode. If not, don't worry about it. I'm still going to deliver you value. But if you want to, let's get to work together. I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, That just simply means, until next time.